7:42.
Spida Hunter from ehpfitness.com. He knows a bit about fitness.
Oh yes, he does. ehpfitness.com. We're shifting days. In fact, this isn't the day we're settling on, but it's the day that we're using today. Spida Hunter's with us. ehpfitness.com. Spida Hunter on Twitter as well. G'day there, Spida.
Oh, morning, Wammo. How you doing, brother?
Very, very well. Your fitness and training regimes are changing in the morning, aren't they?
Yeah, I've just switched them around while I was in Aussie. I did a bit of a change up, so I've given my Tuesday mornings to someone else instead of your valuable time.
That's all right. Well, we've got to keep things fresh. Got to keep things changing.
Yeah, change a habit.
So this might be the first time hearing you for some people. Maybe they only listen on Tuesday mornings. I don't know. So this could be a new thing for some people that you're on the wireless.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Actually, maybe they're Monday people only.
So I guess just a wee refresher. So you're a personal trainer based in Christchurch. You have a wee personal training business called EHP Fitness. Now you have your own little gym, don't you?
Yeah, I have my own little studio, so I don't have a gym as in like a gym membership as such. I just have a consultation business where people come to me for their health and fitness goals, and I get them from A to B in the most economical way as possible, and fun, and sometimes hard work.
And sometimes hard, yes. Well, sometimes, as we've found out over the past few months, it requires hard work, not just thinking about it.
It does require a little bit more than just thinking about it. Well, summer's coming.
It's in the doing as well. Yes, now, and over the past couple of weeks we have been talking about the whole spring thing and getting into a new regime. Now, we're going to move on from that a little bit today and get very specific. Today we're talking about protein powder, and I think everyone's heard of protein powder, haven't they?
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think protein powder is often put into a couple of categories of... it's for the hardcore, or it's for like hardcore as in the bodybuilding type, or it's just something that, if you take it, you'll magically turn into six-pack abs.
Well, it is associated with bodybuilding, isn't it?
Yeah, it is associated, because most of the stuff that you see is targeted towards muscles and muscle building, so that gets branded and bridged into bodybuilding as well, but it actually fits probably just as well into mainstream as well.
Okay.
And that because with protein powders, it's a fantastic thing for fat loss, fitness, recovery, nutrition, and strength, and muscle building, and those sorts of goals if you have them, sports performance as well.
But what actually is it though?
Yeah, that's a good question. Protein powder is something that we all need, or I should say protein is something we all need, and you have a debate of if you can get it through food and all that, and we are specifically talking today about protein powder, and you can get it through food, don't get me wrong there. Food should be your first source before you even turn to protein powders, but however, if you can't get it through food, then obviously secondary is supplements, just as protein powder. It's basically just an amino acid that we all need to create hormones and neurotransmitters, antibodies, and without adequate protein, we basically don't function optimally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how much should you be taking, and in what sort of situation, should you be taking it?
Basically, how I suggest it to people is that if you're doing some form of resistance training, i.e. weights at a gym, body weight, calisthenics and stuff, you will want to take it after training. So you'll do your weight session or your workout at home, and then you'll have a scoop, 1 or 2 scoops of protein powder directly after training, and that just aids in recovery. So what you're doing is you're giving your muscles and your body some protein powders, amino acids, and all the stuff to help you recover quicker.
What does it taste like?
Well, it depends, mate. A general rule of thumb, if it's cheap, it generally tastes cheap and nasty too, but that's not always the case. Like the ones that I suggest to people, they're more, they don't have a lot of fillers in them, they don't have a lot of crap in them, and they actually taste nice, because a lot of protein powders, they can get quite lumpy,
yeah,
and then you get that whole feeling and taste and.
What do you have it with?
Most people subscribe to having it with milk and stuff. Where I prefer to say if you can do it with water, then and taste it and it tastes okay, then that's what you want to do it with. People say you can do it with milk and or add more calcium and all the rest of it, but I just say go water first. If you can do milk, then add milk, and when you have those luxuries, probably when the boss is paying for the milk.
Can you sprinkle it over your cornflakes?
Yeah, you can actually.
Really?
Yeah, you can actually. Or porridge is a better one than cornflakes, mate.
Right.
You
Yeah.
might as well eat sugar out of the container if you're having cornflakes.
Yeah.
But no, you can sprinkle it. So yeah, it's a substitute that way as well. So if you're having a carbohydrate breakfast, it's a great substitute to add in some form of protein other than cooking up a chicken or a T-bone steak with your porridge or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And as you were just saying that some is cheap. Some brands are cheap, compared to. Does that mean that it's not as good, or?
Basically, if I paint a bigger picture, if we run it, apparently there's only 3 places in the world you can source raw protein from, and obviously Frontier in New Zealand is one of them. So basically, other companies throughout the world will buy off us because we got a cheaper dollar. Then they'll slap a flash label on it, add some, enzymes and artificial sweeteners and sell it back to us. So I generally say to people in New Zealand, subscribe to New Zealand brand protein powders because it's not going through a whole process. It doesn't get shipped overseas and then shipped back to us and all that. We're generally, my belief close to home is that we have greater control and concern for what we put in it. So I generally say stay close to home. And there's a few good brands out there from New Zealand too, absolutely.
But I mean, you feel free to. I mean, if you've got any you want to recommend,
the ones that I can say that I've used and one is Lepin. They're basically an endurance-based supplement company out of Auckland, but they do a whey protein powder, and that's pretty good. I definitely subscribe to that one. It doesn't leave you as bloated or if bloated at all for some people, and it doesn't make you milky and kind of that lumpy taste afterwards with some cheaper brands. Because there's some protein powders, especially out of America, because you have a grade 1 to a grade 5. So grade 1 is for animal consumption and grade 5 is for human consumption.
Right.
But grade 3, that's human and animal consumption.
You don't want to be in that zone.
Yeah, well, that's it. Because we can legally they're allowed to sell it to us because it's for human consumption. It's got it's been slapped with a label called human consumption on it.
Yeah.
But it's cheaper because obviously if it's human consumption only, it's a higher grade, therefore it costs a bit more money. Grade 1 is a lower grade because it's for animal consumption, so it doesn't cost as much. Grade 3 is in the middle of those two.
Yeah.
So it's still cheaper than grade 5, and we're still allowed to consume it. But
who's grading that? That's probably the Food Authority or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something like that.
Yeah.
I'd say it would be, or I would have thought it would have been FDA or something like that.
And so in taking protein powder while you're training, will you actually notice a difference?
You should definitely notice a difference in recovery, your ability to feel replenished. Like for example, if you're doing a big session and you're sitting on your bum and you're absolutely exhausted, if you pop a protein powder, one scoop protein powder directly after you're finished, you should notice within 5 to 10 minutes that you've got your zing back again.
Okay.
As opposed to walking around for 30 minutes saying, oh, that's the hardest session I've ever done. Never again.
Yeah.
So for that, I really, really enjoyed it. And if you add some orange juice to it, it gives it a bit more of a sugar kick, so you get your zing back even quicker again.
Cool.
Yeah, so those are, and obviously it's a meal replacement if you have fruit with it and all the rest of it, but we've talked about that with super smoothies, so...
Yes, and it's worth. We may cover super smoothies once again, and as we head further into the summer as well, because I think people might feel like getting up and having something like that. So
yeah, absolutely, and because it'll be locally grown raspberries and strawberries will be coming back into season.
Exactly.
So my frozen batch that I got before it all closed up is starting to get low.
Excellent. All right. Well, people can hit you up on Twitter, twitter.com/Spida Hunter. they want to ask you any questions, or head along to ehpfitness.com. Spida, once again, as always, thanks so much for your time, and we're going to move things and shift things to Friday, so maybe Friday next week.
Awesome.
Yep. Cheers, Spida.
Okay, brother.
See ya.
Thank you.
Time now is